Do you feel like you held these judgments towards other people previously? Like if you saw someone,
Like I'm projecting.
or if old you saw you,
Yeah.
would they be the one to think that person is like isn't queer enough? Is that why this has been so difficult for you?
I love this therapy. You're like asking it as a question, but you're really like telling me.
I'm like, I know.
Fine, Antonia, you got me. You got me. Yes. Yes. And like there is a lot of just like throwaway comments like this in like the queer lesbian community. Like, oh, classic,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever.
Classic
Bisexual ends up
with a boyfriend.
Yeah. And like, so it's both. It's like,
Yeah.
I judge other people, but I know other people are judging me,
Yeah.
you know, but it's actually just been so nice. And I'm like really happy, and fuck you if you're judging me.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
even
fuck
have.
you, but like, let's fuck.
Yes.
The things I see on TikTok with 1 million views.
1 million likes.
1 million likes.
And they're just not.
And they're insane. And they're literally just like some girl eating in front of a camera.
But she's hot.
But she's hot.
She's
but they're
hot.
always hot. That's the thing,
That's
is
it.
that they're always hot.
I literally was saying this yesterday. I was like, if I was a little bit hotter, I would have to work so much less.
So much less.
So much less.
I know.
But
instead, we had to
is
develop personalities.
I don't want to.
I know.
Like if I just whatever. I was like talking about a nose job, which I'm not gonna do, but like maybe I will.
Like why not?
I
don't. What do you want a nose job for? I love your nose.
I know, but it's
What's the problem?
I saw a picture of me yesterday and it was like, listener, I'm not this vain, but I just saw a picture of me yesterday and I was like smiling and my nose was just like, it looked like a caricature Jew nose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Holocaust
Wait, go
posters.
profile. Give me a profile.
Don't make me do this.
You know, look, there are many different kinds of Jews and different kinds of noses.
Yeah.
But yours does not fall into the stereotype.
It's like when I smile, which makes it even worse. It's when I laugh, like the bump just gets like a little bit more pronounced.
Wow. You know, I don't see it.
Okay, whatever. We don't talk about it. But like should we just Yentas only podcast.
Welcome to Yenta.
Welcome to Yenta.
It's just us today.
Yes, podcast that's sometimes about comedy, sometimes about queers, and always about
Gossip.
I'm gonna start the topic with nose jobs.
I love that topic, actually.
Yeah, because it's actually like I feel like near and dear to the Jewish community.
It's so near and dear. Yeah. Is this your first time thinking about a nose job?
I've definitely like thought about it, but I've never seriously considered. I wouldn't even say I'm seriously considering it now.
Yes.
At all. But I think it's one of those things that's so normalized depending on what community you're in.
We're in LA.
Yes, exactly.
We're Jews. We're in entertainment.
Yes.
It's normalized.
It's so normalized, but like
Yeah.
my so this is also coming up with my lover, who we
Yeah.
can also talk about later. But like, because he's like everybody gets nose jobs in LA, like it's like not a big deal at all. And
Wow.
And I'm just like, I don't want that. Like I don't want to encourage that. I don't want that to be like acceptable. I don't want that to be like, oh yeah, just get one. You
Yeah.
know? I want it to be like, oh, like this is a serious.
Let's interrogate why.
Yeah.
I
It
feel
feels a really slippery slope of just like always feeling bad about your body and like always getting work done and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I feel probably exactly the way you feel,
Oh, yeah.
which is like half of me is like, it's your body. God bless. Do whatever you want
Yeah.
with it. Who am I
Yeah.
to say? And on the other hand, I'm like, but isn't it interesting that it seems like all the things you want to do to your body are to conform to this
Right.
like patriarchal white standard
male gaze.
Oh, like,
yeah.
and isn't that
and like it's like, oh,
isn't
you're
that
saying
weird?
It's for you, but it's not for
but
you.
is it really for you?
If you were alone in the wilderness, you wouldn't be like, I'm getting a nose job.
Yeah.
Like it just, you would never even worry about
this
that.
is all these things about body image.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand why you want to change your body
Yeah.
to have more privilege in this culture.
Yeah.
Because you do have more privilege when your body conforms more.
100%.
But, and sometimes, you know, that's like a worthwhile choice to make, and you feel good about it. But also, like, it just keeps that culture going. This is like thorny.
It's really thorny. And my mom, like, really, you know, has raised me with this real, like, love your body, like,
yeah,
in a really beautiful way. Like, don't feel like you need to change it, and like, don't be materialistic. Like, don't go into this like world where you're just like obsessed with your image and then always change, you know. So it's like, it really feels like a sticky thing. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to. It feels like, you know, like what how does the word, like a lot, like you're losing. That's not the right word.
Yeah,
you're
like, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you're like in a battle with the patriarchy, and
yes.
you lose,
and you've lost a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it also, like, if anyone's listening to this who had a nose job, I don't want to be like,
love
you lost. Like,
No.
For you, I'm like, oh, you're perfect. You got a nose job.
I'm jealous
it
of
made
you.
you better. Like, it made you feel better about your life.
Yeah.
Like, God bless, love that for you.
Yeah.
But it's it's very like climate change too. Like, it's not about the personal, it's about the corporate responsibility here. Like, it's not my nose job that's the problem.
Yeah, it's yours.
It's our
everyone's.
nose job that's the problem. And also, like there is nothing that has like elevated my life more than seeing somebody else refuse to bow to cultural beauty standards and like love themselves and celebrate themselves. And so it feels like I would love to be that for somebody else as well.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's, you know, seeing someone else get a nose job has never liberated me. Seeing somebody
not get a nose
job and celebrate their nose has liberated me. I used to be obsessed with my nose. Like, as a child, I was like, this thing is a problem. It needs to get rearranged. And I was always too ashamed of the feminist pressure to ever seriously consider getting a nose job. But I did
both ways.
Exactly. There's shaming both ways. But I did seriously, as a teenager, think about like, okay, well, if I pluck my eyebrows this way, like, does it distract from my nose? And I would walk around the mall staring at everyone's noses.
Wow. This is a real big thing.
It was huge for me as a teenager, because I was just like, this is the reason I'm not popular.
Yep.
I was like, it has nothing to do with the fact that my go-to conversational tactic is correcting someone's grammar. Or that would go far.
Or singing in a whole circle.
Or singing so loudly in public.
It's just the nose.
I was like, it's the nose that's the problem.
Yeah.
And I'd look around at all these noses and be like, see, that's, if I only had that, I would be in much better shape. And then it always blew my mind to hear those people critiquing their noses. I was like, what
and that's
are
exactly
you
my
talking
point.
about?
Yes. It's like, if you get into that mindset where things are always wrong with you, you're always going to find something wrong with you.
Yes.
It's like that scene in Mean Girls when they're all looking at the mirror and they're all like wildly hot and they're like, oh, I'm so fat. Oh, I'm so bloated. Like, that scene.
Exactly.
Is so real. And I would never want that. And I would never want to encourage that. Like, but then I'm also in LA and like, I'm also,
there are a lot of pressures from the other end here.
Yeah.
The thing that healed my relationship with my nose was
I love that. That's such a hook.
I know.
The thing that healed the relationship with my nose.
The thing that healed the relationship with my nose was, number one, Artem, because he's
yeah.
obsessed with my nose.
That's so sweet.
And he's just like, oh, here comes the schnoz, like schnoz incoming.
Yeah.
And he loves it so much. He's like, it's perfect. It's the best nose in the world.
Yeah.
That honestly, huge. And then I also started drawing art with all of the people have a big, like huge noses, shaped like mine, but extra large.
Nice.
And I have a ton of art like that that I haven't really shared, but I'll share it maybe on our Instagram or something.
Yeah, or on the Patreon.
Patreon.com/Yenta. I haven't shown it to you, but it's in our house. I have this like nice little portrait of all of my art has like big noses.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my tribute to my nose.
nose.
Let's celebrate the big nose.
Yes. But I still want to get a nose job. No, I don't know. I think about this all. You know Michaela Cole?
Yeah.
She like changed her face. Like, have you seen?
Wait, she changed her face?
Have you seen like
recently?
Like she's on chewing gum.
Yeah, and since chewing gum, she's changed her face?
From chewing gum to I May Destroy You. Like literally a different face.
I saw chewing gum, but I haven't seen I May Destroy You. I'm looking this up right now.
And like I love her. I think she's one of the most brilliant. Have you are you seeing it?
Oh my God. She looks very different.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of filler in there.
Yeah.
It also makes me really happy to see how this filler is going bad for all of these celebrities.
Is it going bad?
For her, I mean, look, what's to say bad or not? There are a couple pictures here
gorgeous.
that are looking a little
and listen, I totally
filled.
I think I just want to like very explicitly say no part of me is like judging this for her. Like I think it's actually great what she has done, and like she looks amazing, and she has like the resources and and whatever, all these things to do it.
Yeah.
And also a little bit of me is like, oh, I wish you could have just.
Yeah.
I wish you could have made it with your old face.
Because
you did. Make it with your old, yes, you
because
did.
she did.
You were on a huge TV show.
That's exactly the thing, is like seeing. I want to say like I support all plastic surgery. Do whatever you want with your body, but also it has never healed me as a person to see someone else's plastic surgery.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
but also if I get that rich and successful, of course I'm gonna do it.
Are you?
I don't know.
Because
probably.
For me,
there's so much more pressure.
For me, I'm like, once I get rich and successful,
we would be more famous if we had nose jobs. But that's fine.
That's for sure. That's for sure true. But then once I get really famous, why would I ever get a nose job? I've already made it.
Yeah. I agree. And also I think once you get famous, there's just so much more pressure, so many more people taking pictures of you, so many more like eyeballs on you that you're like, you get even more concerned about your appearance.
I could imagine that, but I also know myself, and I'd be like,
good.
What do I care about? What do I care about those idiots? I've already made it to fame.
Yes, and I hope
it makes me so it just fills me with so much joy to see
is there anyone,
unconventionally attractive people who've made it.
Is there anyone that's like was unconventionally attractive that stayed unconventionally attractive?
That's a very good question.
Because I can't think of anyone.
Except
men. Men get to stay however attractive they are, and they become hot even if they're not hot.
I can think of like Phyllis in The Office is unconventionally
but
attractive.
She's not. But
no, but she's a good example.
You think
or
so?
You know, like
because she was never like lead.
Huge. No, yeah, she was never like
she's
A-list.
Never like I'm thinking like a lead actor.
That's a good question.
She was always like supporting.
Lena
She's
Dunham,
like character actress.
Lena Dunham, but she only acted in Girls, and then she pretty much stopped acting.
Yeah. That's a good point. Lena Dunham is a good point. Even like Girls was on for like 7 seasons, and she never really.
Amy Schumer
got hot.
Yeah, she did get hotter.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Like Taylor Tomlinson, I think, is also such an amazing example of this. Like if you look at her old stand-up stuff, she just looks like a normal girl.
Normal.
She's like a nice, normal, cute girl, and now she's like hot.
I know, it's so weird.
I love her. Taylor, come on the pod.
We love you.
Yeah, you could be Jewish for us. I feel like Taylor's like Jewish coded.
Because she like performed for religious audiences. She's
yes,
she's so
I forgot
us.
about that. Yeah, and her new hour is literally all about being queer and ex-religious.
We're obsessed.
Yeah. Should we move on to another topic?
Yes.
Go.
Okay, here's what I want to talk about. So I led a singing circle at ECAR this week. I do them every month. I love them. This one was like yet another great night of singing.
How many people go?
This one, I think there were 12.
Great.
So it's a small little group, but it's...
Did you get to do your 3-part harmonies?
Yeah, I did. I did the one, that I sang for you. That's the beginning of the Amida.
Oh, that's so nice.
And it is such a banger. I'm honestly so talented.
You're so brilliant, listener. If you don't know, Antonia writes, composes music, 3-part harmony music,
Jewy music,
and it's so unbelievable. And I wasn't like, how do I say this? I wasn't like gung ho from the beginning, like I had to be like convinced. And you convinced
you're
me.
not a singing circle.
I'm not a singing circle person. I'm like an old school traditional songs person.
Yeah.
And
new Jewish
like,
music.
You can't write new music for these old words. That's not right. Stick to the old songs that we had for thousands of years.
That is so orthodox of you.
I know, I'm sorry.
If you'd grown up perform, you'd be like, all the melodies suck. We need new ones.
Yeah. But they're so lovely and they're so beautiful.
Thank you.
And also I was being a little bit dramatic for the pod. But yeah.
Orthodox Jews dramatic? Never.
Okay, so the singing circle.
And so it was so great. And then I was talking with someone there about how they had gone to like a Kabbalat Shabbat, and the singing that was led was so annoying. And they described an experience I have all the time, which is that like they changed up a bunch of melodies for Kabbalat Shabbat. I change up melodies for non-service things. I'm just doing singing circles.
Yeah.
And I also, when I change up a melody, I teach it. Like you've been to my Shabbat, I've changed the Shalom Aleichem melody.
Yeah.
But I teach it every single week.
Yeah.
And
what was the new melody
that they were talking about?
Do you know?
At Kabbalat Shabbat?
Yeah.
No, they just said a bunch of the songs had different melodies. And who knows if they were like newly composed or just they didn't know the melody.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was a melody they hadn't heard before. And that happened for a bunch of the songs. And they were like, it's just not fun to sing a bunch of songs that you don't know, especially in like a service setting, because the songs are short. You just start at the beginning and then you end and then it's over, and maybe by the end you've picked up the melody, whereas in like a singing circle you're singing the song so many times over and over. 15 minutes later you'll have picked up the melody, but you've got 2 minutes.
And what do you think about
in
that?
Shul? Well, I was just like really griping about how I think there needs to be a serious overhaul of the way people teach melodies in Shul.
Yeah.
Like, because they need to get it through their thick skulls that it's not fun to sing when you don't know the melody. And so you've got to solve it in a couple ways. You have to figure out a way to teach the melody. One is you like send out a track list
beforehand.
Yeah,
you think
seriously.
people will actually listen to it though? People hate Judaism already so much. Like homework, like before synagogue.
There's a demographic. Me. that would love it.
Okay.
There's another demographic that would never touch it.
Yeah.
But still, like all good education comes from multiple angles. So one angle would be you release a Spotify track list, and then you have to make sure that you do that track list, because if you promise a track list and then you don't do the track list,
people will be not happy.
Oh, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And another is like, another could be just not introducing as many new melodies, only introduce one new melody a week. Or repeating melodies. If you're introducing a new melody, I saw this done at one Kabbalat Shabbat and I was so impressed. They sung like almost every song to the same melody. And I'd never seen that done before. It was in Boston at a place called Korov, I think. They're like a trad egal kind of small minion. And their Kabbalah Shabbat, they picked one Joey Weissenberg melody and sang every song to it.
And you like that?
I thought it was an interesting experiment with form, and I liked it because I wasn't super familiar with the melody, but by the end of the night, I was so familiar with it that I could start moving into experimenting with harmonies.
Right. Because I feel like that would get boring for me.
I think you have to lead it the right way. Like, you have to, like, when you're repeating a melody over and over, you need to, like, vary up the tempo, vary up the volume, do it small here, do it long and slow here, you know.
Was it a complicated melody, or was it like
I can't remember exactly.
I can't remember structure.
It was complicated.
you like how I know what that is?
It was like complicated enough. Yeah. Oh, AB structure.
Yeah, I know.
Lingo.
Lyrics. Composing.
So like that, it was complex enough that I appreciated having the time. I can't remember what the melody was off the top of my head.
From my Orthodox experience, it's been like when people change up the melody. Well, first of all, it usually is the same melodies like almost every week. The only things that really change are Lecha Dodi tunes.
Oh yeah,
that people really like to play with. Even in the middle of Lecha Dodi,
they do two or sometimes three at QI. They did 3 melodies. Yes.
Oh, that's a lot.
I'd never seen 3.
I've never seen 3 either. I didn't even realize that.
I was blown away.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the idea of like just doing the same melodies for most of it, and then Lecha Dodi, you switch it around.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting. Yeah, I think that's a good way to deal with this problem.
Yeah.
And then also the other proposed solution, which is really tricky because it extends the timing, is taking the time to teach melodies.
I don't think that's...
And you can do it.
Yeah.
Here's how I would propose you do it. I propose you do it on a Yai before the prayer starts. You know?
Yeah.
And the melody has to be easy enough that you can do 2 rounds of it on a Yai and then get into the words.
Yeah.
You know, that's a solution, but that extends the timing.
I guess this was at Ikar where they just did a brand new melodies for everything?
This wasn't at Ikar. This was at a different place. Ikar is funny because they do the same melodies every week, but they're mostly like in-house composed melodies.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think of the Orthodox melodies at QI? Do you remember? Like in the service or in the service? In the service, I'd heard some of them. I hadn't heard all of them. The singing like didn't seem super enthusiastic, so I felt like I didn't get to hear them in their best presentation. Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you hear a group of people really giving it their all, then the melodies come alive a little more.
Yeah.
But also like all melodies are great.
Yeah.
As long as there's buy-in.
Exactly. As long as people know them.
As long as people know them.
Right.
And so I couldn't tell if not everyone knew them or not everybody wanted to sing, or I think the biggest problem was how they were led. There just wasn't enough enthusiasm behind them. So, but this is not a new problem. This is the case many places.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. If you're going to change up all the melodies in a service that people don't know, that most of the congregation does not know, you have to teach that melody.
Yeah.
If it's a melody that like most of the people know and a few people don't know, then like they should be able to just pick it up.
Yeah.
It should be simple enough that like people can pick it up.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you know that you're going to just change up the whole melody and people don't know it, you need to teach that shit or send out a split play. I completely agree.
Otherwise
Have you been crazy. To the Happy Minyan?
Yeah. With you.
On Friday night? Or
not
Shabbos
on Friday
day?
night. On Shabbos day.
We should go on Friday night.
Oh,
I would be
they have
so,
Friday nights.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, let's do it.
I would be so curious to hear what you think about Friday night services.
I
there.
actually didn't realize they had Friday night services.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's
And
go.
then we could talk about it on the pod.
Ooh,
and our listeners will love that.
I love that.
Have we been explaining all the terms for our non-Jewish listeners? Which we have.
And oh
Shout
my God,
out.
we love you.
Thank you for DMing us. That was so nice.
It really was.
Yeah.
We had one
Person from Norway.
Norwegian
Lesbian.
Yes, we
Shout
love
out.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for caring.
Yeah, I think we may have dropped a lot of terms that we didn't define. One thing that
Too
you
late
might
now.
one thing that I think is very iconic to Jewish culture is this idea that we have like liturgy that gets repeated over and over that we're all doing, but we're all doing different melodies to it. Like that I think is not common to all religions.
Oh yeah.
Like especially like in an old Pentecostal or evangelical church, like they're not repeating liturgy every week. So they'll they'll just pick a couple different worship songs that many of them are based on liturgy. Some of them are just poems written by contemporary musicians. And
so they don't have like prayer books that they all pray from?
In like Catholicism, it's much more structured like that.
Oh, okay.
And then like there are some denominations that will have like hymnals.
I don't know what that is.
That's kind of
explain for our Jewish listeners.
It's like a songbook. It's like not so much a siddur that has like the whole prayer service written down. It's a songbook where they'll be like,
with
okay,
hymns.
let's do number 44, and then you turn to number 44.
This is so great, Antonia, because you can really like
I know.
explain amongst all the different.
I'm really the bisexual of religions.
Except Islam. Do you know a lot about Islam?
No, I don't. We need to get Ahmed back.
Yeah. Who said he wants to be back? By
Yes,
the way.
we should have him back.
Yeah.
Wait, can I tell you a really funny story about these hymnals? Okay. This kills me. Okay, so when I did a show recently in Asheville, I got to hang out with these amazing evangelical Christians who I made friends with when I lived in the Asheville area.
Yes.
And I made friends with them because I showed up to their church one day, classic me, and their church had about 10 people. 10.
Yeah.
And they were just all in this like tiny little room. It was a sad little church, and I didn't end up going back. I ended up going back to the big Baptist church in town because I was like, more opportunities. But I made really good friends with two of the people from the tiny church. They were giving me some gossip about their church. Okay, it's tiny, 10 people every week.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of resources. And one of my friends is the worship leader. So he picks the songs that you sing every week. And because they don't follow like a calendar or anything, like in their tradition, he could pick any songs to sing. Any songs. And he was sort of going with that, and that was cool. Then one day, a new guy comes to the church, and he's like, hey, I have this box of like 50 hymnals. Let's use that. And that was awesome because now they have these little songbooks, and the leader can say, okay, we're going to do number 44, and everyone opens to 44. Yeah. He was complaining. He was like, now I can only pick songs that are in the hymnal, and songs that are in the hymnal are kind of like old timey. Right. You know?
But
so
before they had their own version.
Yeah, they could do contemporary Christian music. Right. They could do anything, but he would have to match it to the projections on the screen. Oh, wow. And that was
high tech.
That was difficult because he liked to decide the songs the morning of. And and the guy who was on the projection screen was not very good at doing the projection screen. So he'd usually forget to switch to the next slide of the lyrics. Yeah. So they're projecting the lyrics up. But the guy running the lyric projector is not really following along the music, so there was like a lot of problems there. So they were like, okay, the hymnals is an improvement. So they're working from the hymnals. It's an improvement because now the lyrics are accurate. It's less of an improvement because now they have to do boring old music. Yeah. But then this guy comes to church one day and he's like, great news. I've got this sandwich board from an old deli. that's the kind of board where you like have sort of stick on letters and numbers. You know those things that they have like sort of horizontal grooves, and then you stick on little plastic
Like
letters,
a menu?
like a menu board, you know? He's like, great news, I have one of those. So we can put up the set list of songs, of hymns, you know, number 222, number 33. We can put that up there, and then everyone can see that, because some of the people are old and have trouble hearing which number we're doing.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Okay, so my friend is like, great idea. Let's do this. So the night before church, he has to tell the guy with the sandwich board, these are the ones we're doing, so the sandwich board guy can create the sandwich board.
Oh my God.
Okay. So one night he's like, okay, we're going to do these 4 songs. The sandwich board guy calls him and is like, we have a problem. You want to do number 36, number 63, and number 166. That's 4 sixes. I only have 3 sixes.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta choose another song. And so now that they have this sandwich board,
They're even more limited.
they're very limited, because this guy does not have very many of all of the numbers. And that's the state of music at this church. And I just thought this was the most charming, hilarious story I'd ever heard.
And then they just dealt with now they can only do like 4 songs.
Yes, now he has to be very particular about.
Let's do 12, 34, 56, 78.
Isn't that so
90,
funny?
90.
There you go. That's my story.
Wow. and are they like, now they have like 4 people?
I think they're still at about 10.
And good for them.
They haven't lost
They have
anyone.
5 times as many books as they have people.
Oh, yeah.
Good
for them. Okay, what do you want to talk about?
I'm like melting.
I know, me too.
Can
I
you tell?
feel my stomach starting to show sweat.
Listener, we are in 103-degree weather.
It's so fucking hot.
In LA. I feel like I'm like getting sick from the heat.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I started actually blacking out yesterday because I went to the Getty Museum.
You did?
Yes.
With your mom?
With my mom. And we got there, and
It's
walking
too hot.
from the tram in,
oh no,
I had to sit down for 15 minutes and chew on ice chips because my vision started going black.
Don't go outside.
Don't go outside.
At this, we're living. It's
hell. Back to climate change and nose jobs.
Yeah.
It's not individual responsibility, but the corporate responsibility is really fucking things up for us.
Yes.
So you're saying that we should maybe pause here because
I'm like
we need
having
to get
trouble
the AC
processing
back on.
what you're saying. Last thing I wanted to talk about is this clip that I posted on Friday. Well, I don't know when this will come out, but I posted it. It was a clip. Listener, if you've been paying attention, I can't even talk. I'm like dying.
I'll tell.
I'm over. Do you feel this way too?
I'm still
Like
holding
like a brain
strong.
Fog. Okay, you talk.
Okay, Raye posted this clip that is going really viral, 200,000 views and counting. Hell yeah.
Which I really needed this win.
Yeah, you did.
I've just been so like demoralized.
I know.
From keeping to posting and like nothing was doing well at all. And I feel happy. And I shouldn't get all my self-worth from this kind of thing, and I don't, but I also kind of do.
Absolutely, duality.
Yes, exactly.
That's the thing. And it's a clip about you talking about how you're a they she, you're dating a he they, so together you're basically straight.
And someone had a hilarious comment. They were like, it's kind of like the like in math, the commutative property.
Yes,
like the bays cancel each other out. I thought that was so funny.
And then the addendum is you posted a clip saying just that, but then you posted a second clip retelling that joke and saying your brother called you to talk about the clip, and he was like, "It's so funny because if there's anything you are not, it's straight."
Yeah.
And that's the clip that's really been blowing up. And it must be so validating.
Yeah.
Because I know that this part of your like gender journey this has been a weird, snaggy, self-doubty moment for you.
Yeah.
And I feel like the whole internet is really like seeing you.
Yeah, except for those few comments that are like,
a white millennial / they is always just a straight girl with her boyfriend.
Except one thing you got wrong. They didn't say millennial. They said 20-year-olds.
Ooh!
So they think I'm 20.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I misaged you.
I'm like, you
can't even drink.
I know.
You're so...
I can barely vote.
Oh my God. You're so precocious.
But I can buy a gun.
You couldn't rent a car.
I could not rent a car.
No way.
No, I'm so
You're
young.
a tiny baby.
I'm just gonna... I'm like in my party hoe phase. No, that never stopped. Yeah, but it's been really... It's like one of those things that I felt so scared to talk about. And like, especially publicly.
Yes.
Especially with like all these... Because like TikTok is easier to post for me because it's like no one I know follows me on there. But then Instagram is like people I know, like in real life. And so far, everyone that I know has just been really like nice about it. And like, you know, well, I haven't heard from like the king of the dykes yet, but like.
But they'll summon you to their court.
They will. They'll be very upset with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, and I'm like, it's just a good reminder for me to just, like, stop being so in my head about this shit and, like, let myself just, like, not just be me and be authentic. I hate the word authentic. I hate the word authentic, but I think it is authentic, and I think that's why people are responding to it.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you held these judgments towards other people previously? Like if you saw someone...
Like I'm projecting?
If you saw old you... If old you saw you...
Yeah.
Would they be the one to think that person is... like isn't queer enough? Is that why this has been so difficult for you?
I love this therapy. You're like asking it as a question, but you're really like telling me.
I'm like, I know.
Fine, Antonia, you got me. You got me. Yes. Yes, and like there is a lot of just like throwaway comments like this in like the queer lesbian community, like, oh, classic,
yeah,
you know, or whatever,
classic
bisexual ends up
with a boyfriend.
Yeah, and like, so it's both. It's like I judge other people, but I know other people are judging me. You know, but it's actually just been so nice, and I'm like really happy. And fuck you if you're judging me. Yeah, I don't even have.
Fuck you, but like let's fuck.
Yes, I'm open. I'm not closed ever.
Come on.
I still have to bring all my like crazy, dirty sex stories to this podcast. So.
Yeah, you can't stop telling the sex stories now that you have a primary partner.
Exactly.
Because you can't be that person.
No, I can't be the person that's like coupled and monogamous.
I don't talk about my sex life. Yeah. I know that the Artem episode is behind the paywall. Yeah. But I really have been reflecting about how I want more people to hear us talk so openly about our sex life so that they can fucking talk openly about their sex lives.
Yes. Well, why don't you make the real estate bit a clip.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's so funny. I have clipped it, and I've been holding on to it because I'm nervous.
That's totally fair. And that is funny. And that is a really good one, and I totally get that. Yeah, that's a scary one to post.
Yeah.
And I want to validate that, and I don't want to like pressure
I know,
you
but
in any
content.
way. No, it's whatever you feel comfortable posting, and yeah, no, I would also I would also feel
it's sitting in my drafts.
Yeah,
like
bro.
ready to go.
That's
and I'm
so
like,
real. That's so real. What does Artem think?
oh, he's like,
Go.
He's like, the world needs to know.
It was so funny.
I know.
What are you scared of?
I'm scared of. And what am I scared of? I guess maybe losing a couple bookings of people who are like
religious.
Oh, she's like a little too raunchy. Like,
that's so real.
Those people wouldn't come to the podcast, but they would peruse my Instagram.
That's actually a really fair point.
So I did just book a show.
You're going to London.
Oh yeah, I'm going to London.
Huge.
This is a show. I'm actually not going to say the city because they did do a very comprehensive review of my Instagram and then came back with a list of topics that they would like me not to cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Who? Wait, what?
And
was it queer stuff?
no, they're fine with queer stuff. Their list. Actually, let me read you their list because I want to get this list framed. It's honestly the funniest thing I've ever read. This is their list of forbidden topics. It is. Oh no. My list is gone. Okay, here it is. Okay, this is they asked me to put this in the contract. Content of the performance will not include any of the following topics: current situation in Israel.
Yeah, obviously.
U.S. and Israel politics. The Holocaust.
What?
Nazis or neo-Nazism.
What?
And pedophilia.
And those are all equally as problematic.
And I was like, I just want to write jokes about pedophilia.
What? Do you talk about pedophilia?
No,
ever?
I've never, ever talked about pedophilia. There's a whole thing there. Tangentially, someone related to the temples, I think, had
a scandal.
Had a scandal.
Oh,
and
no. So now they're
it's a
super sensitive about
subject, which my heart really goes out to them.
That's
and I'm
so
glad they
funny.
told me, not that I would ever make bits about pedophilia, but I was like, thank you for letting me know. I actually appreciated that they were so upfront about that, but I just thought that list was hilarious. Wait, can I tell you one other? Realized I had one other big piece of news.
Yes.
But it'll be quick.
Yes.
And then we can wrap up.
Yeah. Because we have our guest coming soon.
Yes. Okay. Here's my big piece of news. So, there's an amazing college in Virginia called Old Dominion University. If any of you are listening, I'm so fucking obsessed with you.
Yeah.
They have a Jewish studies teacher who teaches a class on Jewish comedy.
Oh.
And I'm like, I want to take this class. This sounds so good.
Yeah.
And I was talking with them this week about doing a show with them. And so she was telling me that at the end of, I think they do a sort of like survey of like Jewish comedians old to current. And she follows
in
me,
the curriculum.
and she has put me sort of in the current section. I know. But wait, it gets so much better because at the end of the semester, she asked the students to write papers comparing an old Jewish comedian to a new Jewish comedian. And in her words, she said 75% of them chose me as the new Jewish comedian.
That's insane.
Isn't that insane? And okay, it gets better.
You're like in a class.
Literally.
You're being analyzed.
I was like, first of all,
can you read the papers?
Well, I was like, I need to read the
Yes.
papers. And she was like, I can't send them directly to you because of like privacy. But I was like, okay, can you tell all of your students I want to read these papers and can they send them to me? And if you're one of those students listening, please send me one of these papers.
I want to read them.
This is mind blowing. Like, I can't believe that there could be college essays being written about you that you don't know, but I guess that's how the world works. But I just thought that like,
so how did you find out?
This teacher told me because we were talking about doing a show together. And okay, here's the best part. Okay, this is honestly the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. Apparently, one of the papers was titled "The Abbott and Costello of Our Generation," and the Abbott and Costello that they are referring to are me and Moishe.
The dog. Okay. And that's logical. Yeah, I could see it. That you guys are both doing like physical gags.
Absolutely.
You're just like falling over each other all the time.
Good pattern.
And that's why you had to post that Moishe clip.
Who's on first? Who's in the dog bowl?
Yeah. I don't know enough Abbott and Costello bits.
That's the only one I know.
Yeah. Wow.
Isn't that the most incredible thing you've ever heard?
Yes.
There you go.
This school is really amazing.
They've got low standards.
High standards of academic rigor. No, I'm sure it's very well researched and peer reviewed.
Absolutely.
And backed up.
Absolutely. And
also like it's a Jewish comedy class. Like
what's more Jewish than finding some random stupid Jew and being like, they're sage.
Yes. I thought you were like, what's more Jewish than finding like a random source somewhere and being like, this is God. This. Wow, that's amazing.
I know, isn't that amazing?
Just Yentas only episode, we have to get a excerpt.
Yes.
Of one of these essays and read them.
You're so right.
That is so
students,
iconic.
ODU students, if you're listening, please send me your essays.
It's so amazing.
I know.
I can't wait to read them.
Me too. That's my big news.
Baruch Hashem. Okay, Yentas only. Subscribe to the Patreon. We have more bonus episodes. We have an episode with Artem.
Yep.
Antonia's husband.
Yep.
We have bonus episodes. We have uncut, fully unreleased episodes.
Yep. We have an episode that recaps all of your sexual exploits of the last couple months.
Yes.
We'll probably do for another one of those.
We should do one of those. I have a list. The subscribe to the Patreon really helps with better lighting, quality of footage, editing, everything. Like right now, this podcast loses a shit ton of money, and we would love to just break even.
We would love that.
It just so we can keep doing it, and
also, if you're still listening to this part of the podcast,
you like us enough to donate.
You like us enough, and that means so much.
Yes.
If you have the financial means to donate, that would be amazing. If you don't have the financial means to donate, could you give us a review?
Yes, 5 stars
on Apple Podcasts. Give us
Spotify.
Give us 5 stars. It's actually not worth it if you don't give us 5 stars. So just give us 5 stars.
Yeah,
and
share it with a friend.
Follow us on Instagram and tell other people to follow us, because that also really helps our cred.
And also, you could do $3 a month. It's less than a cup of coffee.
Like, look, and if you don't have that, I understand.
Yeah.
But
I don't. Give us your money.
But it would be great to have a review.
Yeah, exactly.
That's free.
Yeah, and a follow is also free.
And a follow.
Yeah, because this podcast is hard. I know we make it look so easy,
effortless,
but it's a lot of work, and it'd be really nice to like. It is always so nice when we get DMs and we get words of lovelies.
Yeah, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, and if you don't want to rate or review us, just leave us a DM.
Yeah,
because that's how we're paid in compliments.
We honestly.
Okay, RayeSchiller.com for shows. Antonia
at Antonia Lastar